put on this. Okay, everyone, this is an interview with Michalina. And Michalina, could you introduce yourself for the audience?
Yes, of course. So my name is Michalina, and I'm Polish. I came from Poland all the way to UK. Now I'm based in UK. My mission and always my big desire was to reach my full potential, keep expanding, see how far I can go. So here I am, being an entrepreneur, starting from finishing my applied medical sciences degree, then studying entrepreneurship, and now just keep going further and further. And I'm pleased to be a part of this interview today.
Okay, that was good. So where are you right now? Like, where are you located?
So right now I'm located in Swansea, UK. For those of you who do not know, do you know where it is, Alvin?
No, I'm not very good with geography.
Oh, no, no worries. I can see you've got a map
Oh yeah, that map,
behind you.
that's that
I
is
would
Game of
probably not be, I would probably not be able to point it out, to be honest with you.
yeah.
Geography is not my strength either.
Yeah, that's a
But
map of Game of Thrones. I'm sorry if it might look, I'm a Game of
oh,
Thrones
okay.
fan and stuff like that. Okay.
Fair enough, fair enough. So basically, do you know where Cardiff is or Wales?
No, no, for the audience. I'm an American, Texas to be
Okay.
exact. So pretty much
Are
in,
you from Texas? That
yes,
is
born and
awesome.
raised.
I've been to Texas, in Houston for internship. When I was studying in Swansea, Swansea has a collaboration with Texas, and I've been for 6 weeks in Houston for a research project on stroke. So Texas is boiling hot. I love Texas. I love Texas food. It's great. But coming back to the question, Swansea is in UK, in Wales, and right next to capital city of Wales, which is Cardiff. Yeah.
Okay. Please, for our next question, please tell us, how did you get into the whole health and fitness space?
It's a very, very good question. I always felt the drive and, the kind of inclined or call to do something related to fitness. First of all, I actually started it because it was a form of escapism for me, exercise.
Mhm.
Um, so I was bullied at school and I wasn't even taking care of myself. I found myself escaping into learning a lot, into just trying to be the best at all the classes, and I was. But also I never felt good enough, and I've always felt bad about my looks and the way just like I felt about myself. And at some point I was like, well, let's just do something, let's just do something about that to make myself feel better about myself. So that's how I started exercising. And the love started from this very moment, and it's never been forgotten. I've just been following it. And as the more I started exercising, the more self-love I've developed.
Mhm.
And then I'm ready to spread the love into and inject that kind of positive addiction onto other people, and also encourage them to reach their full potential. So that's how I get into health and fitness industry, became a personal trainer, and later on I've been adding on to different qualifications which have something to do with mental health and spirituality, because just like your Elvin mission statement values um, like preach, it's not
Mhm.
only about physical transformation. This is only the beginning. this is only the beginning. If you wanna, if for your listeners, if they want to start somewhere, physical transformation, beautiful, amazing way to start. But it's not where it ends. It's not
Mm.
only about that. It's also mental transformation and then spiritual. So very excited for anyone who would like to level up.
Okay. Now, before we go to the next questions, I do want to touch on that bullying part because the whole channel goes into different aspects, mental, physical, financial, and spiritual. And I know that especially in high school and even in middle school, that children are starting to develop, start to learn more about themselves, starting to grow into the person and people they're going to become. And I wanted to get any advice that you might have for parents who are raising children or even high schoolers who may watch this video. I'm not sure if you were bullied because you're more focused on your studies, or maybe there's other differences, but what advice would you give to help students like develop that self-love?
All right, that's a very, very good question. There is not a lot that teachers and parents are aware of the ways they can inject that self-love into their kids. And I would say it's important to always have the ears open to listen to the child and to help them always go and find their way and always never. I think the biggest problem is that we are living in a society when we based our value on our accomplishments and our achievements. And my bullying at school, I think it was kind of related to that. So my family, I was very lucky to grow up in an amazing, very loving environment, but also very demanding. And that's why I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my hard work as
Hmm.
well. But with that also sometimes comes limiting beliefs, and everyone will have it. Everyone has something to overcome, and one of the limited beliefs I've developed was I'm not good enough, because I've been achieving, and reaching. I always wanted more, 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 and more without even appreciating how much I've learned, because my family was demanding of me more and more, and I was demanding of myself more and more. So I think it's very important for the parents and for the school to be able to emphasize the positives, to focus on positives, and encourage every single child to go the way they want to go. Don't label things as good and bad, like being a doctor is amazing. That is a success. Like be a doctor, be a lawyer, or you will be not nobody. Because that's how I kind of felt when I had to decide between going to medicine or devoting myself into fitness and entrepreneurship. So in my mind, because of that conditioning, I was like, I can either be a successful doctor or an average personal trainer. Who I want to be? Am I going to
Mm.
choose my passion, follow my heart, and be an entrepreneur? Or am I going to suffer hard, go to med school to only to feel that I'm successful, to please everyone around me, accept myself? So I think that conversation needs to be taken place at school. And if we start talking about it, if we start raising the awareness, we will be able to create society where everyone feels worthy and good enough, and every single job will be equal and appreciated, not labeled as good or bad. So I hope that this answers your question, but I think there's a lot to be done in terms of raising the awareness.
Okay. I like how you touched on the difference between passion and then the pursuit of money and stuff like that. And in previous videos on my channel, I touched on the point like if you're going to pursue a business, then you should be passionate about it. You should like that because now with the increase in technology and platforms like YouTube, you can pretty much make money in any niche. You no longer have to take those traditional paths to make money, go to college, get a good degree, become a doctor, lawyer, all this stuff. You can create YouTube channels. I know channels that are profitable in different niches. I recently, even just today, this morning, I saw a channel where this guy was just talking about the SAT and getting students prepared in that. So there are a lot of
Yeah.
different niches. But for our next question, how did you or why did you decide to become a coach? Was it just a natural progression from being in health and fitness, or how did that come about?
So basically, that came from what I've mentioned previously, my passion, my story, my passion for exercise and fitness, and also my background, my studying background is in science. So applied medical sciences, I've been always so intrigued about how human body works, and I found extreme enjoyment in figuring out how all the processes come together. So I saw that personal training qualification as an embodiment and application of all the knowledge I've gained throughout my school years and then later university. Because the truth is, in the university and at school, we learn all the theory, but then we feel we are incapable outside that to do anything practical. We only start learning when you are 20 years old. How ridiculous is that? Like,
Yes.
honestly, I just feel like this past 2 years it's been like an exponential learning curve for me for to get to know myself, to get into face the challenges. But why won't we teach children to face challenges earlier? That's why I think sometimes college is a better idea than the school, because they will pursue the same jobs, but in a college you are doing something practical, whereas in school you're only sitting down and memorizing,
Yeah, one of the
so
failings of the education system.
yes, but I'm guess like we are getting there, becoming more and more aware. So interviews like our today, it's gonna help raise that uh, awareness. And sorry, I don't know if I've answered your question completely. How did I get into fitness and coaching, right? So
Yes,
yeah,
basically.
basically that's how I got into it, to embody and practice. Um, and practice the skills and the knowledge and impact people and their life.
Okay. Now I know that you first started with the health and fitness journey and stuff like that, and then I noticed that a you have an avatar guide. We'll get into that, and then also a course. So it looks like you evolved from health and fitness to start going to the other areas of life, like mental and then the spiritual stuff. So how did it evolve from health and fitness and then the mental aspects and the other aspects of life? Could you take us through that journey?
Sure. So that's quite interesting story. And as I develop, my channel develops, my social media develops, and my services expand. That's the best thing I can tell about an entrepreneurship. I love about entrepreneurship, never-ending journey. It's like you came on this path of self-development and you got challenge after challenge, and you gotta take yourself and see how far you can go. So yeah, as I've already mentioned about my physical transformation. So at the beginning, when I was a trainer, I was actually quite self-conscious because the qualification I received was basically the same as also like similar approach to what we learn at school. So you get a paper, but there is like not much that you've actually implemented, you know? So I kind of felt like I don't even know what I'm doing myself when I started being a coach, you know? I thought that I'm gonna learn everything, I'm gonna get fit and shredded, and everything is gonna be like I'm gonna be a top one coach in at least Poland, you know, and I can literally go and coach, but I didn't feel like I know something, you know, I just felt like an imposter. So but I always had a determination. I knew that if I entered the path of being an entrepreneur, um, despite my parents not fully being supportive of it, they were, but kind of not. But I knew I need to overcome my limiting beliefs, fears, and go out my way, do whatever it takes to be successful. So what it takes to be successful is to hire other coaches. That was the quickest way. I've
Mm,
made the biggest investments in my life, and I was terrified, like petrified, to sometimes pay my first money to the coach, and invest in myself. But I did it. I was like, I either do it or I live the regret. So you decide what you want to do, right? And I decided I'm devoting myself to myself and to my personal development so that I can then talk about it to other people who are also in the same space. I know there's people that are scared, that are not feeling capable, not good enough, and feeling that they are alone on this journey. But no, you're not alone. Everyone is on the point, and there is people that have been through exact same things, and they can help you. And I would like to be that person, that support for others. So that's why I decided to hire coaches, and hire coaches from physical coaches, so I get myself shredded and I know what I'm doing right now. I transform my clients, got amazing results, I achieved what I wanted, and then I was ready to develop further. So then I felt like, as the more I was working with clients, I recognized the importance of mental health on the fitness journey, and on my own fitness journey. Because sometimes the case is, you get shredded, you get the best body in your life, but you still feel incapable, not
mm-hmm.
incapable, not good enough, I
Yeah.
mean. You still feel like, okay, but I kind of expected that I'm gonna have it all, but there is still something wrong. I don't feel like good in my body despite having a body of a fitness model, you know? And these are the beliefs I had to overcome myself. And these are beliefs my clients are facing. Then you need to work on your alongside work improving your physique. You need to work on your mental health and the way you picture yourself mentally. So the identity, that's where the avatar comes from, avatar guide comes from. So basically, if if you, for example, let's say you hired a coach and you are with them for 3 months to get the transformation of your life, to lose weight, your goal is to lose weight, but and then you achieve it, you achieve it, but your mind didn't catch up. You kind of did it because you followed what the coach told you to do, and
Mm-hmm.
after the coaching you find yourself relapsing. And this is not because you are not good enough, and it's not because you are trash. It's because your mind didn't caught up with what just happened. You still have a mental image and the identity of the person you've been before. So if your coach does not address that at the very beginning of the process, hey, you need to set clear goals and see yourself, who you want to be, and embody this person fully, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, you will relapse if you don't do it. You will relapse, you will sabotage, maybe you will never reach your goal because your nervous system will not be able to take that frequency, take that new identity on. So that's why first thing I do with my clients is that identity check, identity avatar guide, so that they've got a clear view of where they're going, and they can embody that persona from the very start of our journey. Yeah, if that makes sense. And that's a part of the mental coaching. And what I also do is Reiki and hypnosis. That's what I recently learned. And this is to help you overcome any limiting beliefs, any things that were holding you back in business, fitness, um, and relationships. to reprogram your mind, get rid of all the trash from the past, from the social conditioning, social programming, so that you can actually become that avatar without having to work years and years and years on the talking therapy, because you can do it in the comfort of your house, just listening to the hypnosis track, or just enjoying the Reiki sessions, who are giving you also more balanced flow. And yeah, so it's all holistic.
Okay, you mentioned, and this is important, investing in yourself. And I notice even when I see different people around me, uh, a lot of people like to buy all these other things and buy stuff like the latest gadgets, spend money on unhealthy food, buy stuff that they really don't need, but they're not willing to invest in themselves. So you mentioned that you did. How much have you invested in terms of a dollar amount or something like that in your self-development?
Thousands of dollars, thousands. So I've had to learn sometimes the hard way and pick up the jobs along the way, along uh, hustling as a personal trainer to be able to fund that. But it's been working with coaches, it's been online courses. And if I go for an online course, and that's what I recommend to anyone, just go with your heart. If you feel inclined to work with certain coach, it means that it's meant for you, and I don't care how much it costs. Like, I just know I wanna work with that person. I'm not going to settle for someone else. I just want because it's in your mind. You know what's gonna be working for you. Your intuition is always telling you where you're going to find the answers, and I always trust that, and I'm never regretting it. So I was founding that, and it came to around 10,000, if no more.
Okay. So I know to some of the viewers, or maybe a lot of the viewers, $10,000 when they hear that will seem like a lot of money. But I
If
want to
my
say,
parents hear that, they will kill me.
okay, but I do want to
Honestly,
say,
well, yeah. What do you want to say?
I want to say to the viewers that it might seem like a lot of money, but you have to look at it like this. Uh, what price are you putting on your future and on your own self-worth? Because if you don't feel like you're worth $10,000, then of course you would not spend the money. But if you feel that like you are priceless, like people like to teach their children, especially females and stuff like that, you need to understand that if you're truly priceless and you're worthy, then you're going to invest in yourself, not just financially, but you're going to be careful about the food that you put in your body, and you're going to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and even financially. So don't look more on the price, look on how that's going to actually help you. And I also give advice in my videos. I let people know whenever you're deciding to buy a course or invest, look at the free content as well, because I'm a fan of books. I like to read. And it's in terms of like cost effectiveness, of course, books are going to be lower on that rung because there's a funnel and increasing cost. So you have, and then you have YouTube. YouTube videos are usually free. So check out if they have a YouTube channel, any free videos that they have. And then if you resonate with that, then purchase their books if they have a book. And then as you like more and you want more of their information that they have to offer, then invest in the courses and stuff like that. That's the advice that I give to the viewers on my channel. What advice would you give to viewers when they're first searching out? They may be asking themselves, hey, where do I start? I want to invest in myself. I want to improve. I want to lose weight. I want to learn stuff. I want to get into investing and stuff like that. What advice would you give to those individuals who are seeking to improve their selves?
Amazing, amazing. I love what you just said. I think it's very important to touch on this. There is an underestimation of things that are for free, and yeah, I wanted to touch on that as well, because once I started doing online courses, I realized that a lot of this content is already out there for free. So guys, do not underestimate that, because you pay attention to what you paid for, that's for sure. But then when you realize it's also that makes you actually appreciate the free value more, because there is a lot that you can take for free out there. The only disadvantage of that could be that it's gonna take you a little bit more time to read if you're reading, but patience, it's the main value, should be the main value, and the first trait you look for to become a successful CEO. So definitely, if you are not in a good comfortable financial place, it doesn't mean that you can't have a successful business. You can. Everyone starts somewhere, and um, being resourceful and tapping into those and taking value from those free resources, making the best out of it, it's going to only make you successful. So yeah, definitely, I would have the exact same advice when it comes to somebody who would like to improve themselves without now feeling like they've got finances or the freedom to be able to invest in courses. It will come, but you can still do something with just seek and ask for it, and you will receive.
Okay. Now I want to get into your YouTube channel more. Now, from what I saw, you had a video about 4 years ago. Was that your first video when you started your channel? So you had your YouTube channel for about 4 years, and I know there's been some like gaps between videos and stuff, but you started to get back into it. Could you please tell me and then our audience, like, what was your approach? Why did you start your YouTube channel, and what was your goal for it at that point?
Sure. Yeah, so that's quite interesting, because I first got into my YouTube channel. I promised myself, if I get a chance to study in the UK, I will show others what's possible, and I will inspire them to do the same, to become the best version of themselves. Because quite frankly, I was petrified to go abroad, and my English wasn't good at all. That's why I decided to go, because I was like, I'm so angry that I can't speak English, I can't communicate with everyone. I want to go and I'm gonna learn, and I don't want to spend ages memorizing stupid words. That's what I didn't want to go. So I thought that the only way is to just embrace it, and I did it. And I'm seeing great, like from compared to what it was if you watch me at the beginning at the channel. And I left these videos on purpose for people to see how I was and how terrified I was to be in front of the camera, how terrified I was to even speak in English, to where I am right now, speaking fluently, and just being able to have an interview with you, someone is asking me questions. So that is, to me, a huge accomplishment, and for people a huge inspiration, that I hope that is going to empower them to believe in themselves and start serving the world, because that's what we literally do. By showing up for ourselves, we also show up and are able to be a servant for other people and inspiration. So that's how we create a beautiful world. And yeah, so coming back to my YouTube channel, I first started posting about my studies. And these videos now, after 2 years, because I stopped. At some point, I just stopped because I felt burned out, and I just felt like I need to focus on my studies. Being in the culture, being at the university sometimes requires different priorities, different commitments, and I just felt like I just didn't feel like posting about studying was something that I enjoyed. I was more kind of performative for me. I was enjoying more. I felt like I would enjoy more talking about exercise, But I was talking about studying. So at some point, I needed to stop, and I stopped for about like 2 years, I would say. And my channel went viral for a while, the studying content. Some of the videos have like 24K now, so I'm just like blown. Like my mind was just blown. Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Like you were
basically.
surprised. Yeah.
Yeah,
You weren't
I was super.
expecting it to be that good or
Yeah, it takes like that only proves to me that if you put in the work after 1 2 years, your channel is going to go viral. Uh, I haven't reached 1,000 subscribers yet because I stopped. I wasn't consistent, and I changed the content of my channel. So now I focus on spirituality, exercise, and mindset. So body, mind, and spirit, basically becoming a CEO of your body, mind, and spirit. This is my mission, and now I'm coming there with a clear intention. So there is no shame, guys. If you are, if you stop to, or if you wanna change your niche, it's not like your niche needs to be set out from the very beginning, and you have to carry it on for the rest of your life being miserable. No, like the most important is that you enjoy what you do. That's just like you said, Alvin, at the beginning of this interview. Because if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you will not be. It's not a sustainable business. And what a life it is when you don't do what you love, right?
yeah.
So yeah, here is now my channel aligned with my values.
Okay, now that you're back into YouTube, like uh for your content schedule, I want to give the audience an idea of like how often that they can expect to receive any content for you, like in form of videos, like once a week, twice a week, or
Sure. So I aim to do it at least once in 2 weeks. It's usually twice in 2 weeks, so week, basically one piece of content. Um, yeah. So that's what I do on my YouTube channel now.
okay. Now, could you tell us, since you first started with personal fitness, to go back to that with the nutrition. Could you tell the audience, like personally, for your nutrition plan, what do you eat? And then what would you advise for someone who is maybe overweight or not in the best health condition? Any advice you would give them as far as nutrition? And then we'll get into the fitness aspect as far as exercising.
Yeah, I'm very actually glad that you've asked about nutrition first, because people can misunderstood and think that in order to lose weight they need to exercise, but actually you can use weight without even exercising. It's all about nutrition at first place. And what would I advise to someone that it's listening to us and wants to improve their physique? Um, First of all, I would advise to sit with yourself and do that avatar guide. So basically, create a new identity for yourself. Who do you want to be? And that avatar guide has questions that help you reflect on where your life is, what do you need to overcome, and who do you want to be after the process of transformation. So that's the first thing I would advise you to do. So you are aligning your self with that new person that you want to become. And from there, if you know who you want to become, then you can start setting goals, and the bigger goals and smaller week by week goals, the achievable steps, that you are able to do on daily basis. So the things that you can start doing right now could be start drinking 2 liters of water per day. I know it sounds a cliche, but if you do it every single day, imagine how your confidence will improve if you keep the promises to yourself. Because very often we don't have the confidence because we don't trust ourselves. So treat it as a form of building your confidence. Start drinking water every single day, 2 liters of water. Then start moving. And the movement doesn't need to be exhausting. You can just go for a walk for 1 hour every single day. This is a beautiful form also of grounding yourself, the absorbing the healing frequencies of Mother Earth, of the nature, and you will see improvements if you're in your body, mind, and spirit immediately. And then when it comes to nutrition, of course, you need to nurture your body with feed your body with nutritious foods. So in my coaching, I tell your the meal plans to my clients cravings and not really desires, but I try to answer their cravings and make sure that they're eating the foods that they love. This is the science of it. So when you deprive yourself of something, you crave it more because it's not in abundance. If you don't have money, you crave money, right? So it's the same with food. If you deprive yourself of ice cream, if in your mind you're like, no, I'm not eating this ice cream, no, and you feel guilty every single time for eating it, you crave it more. And when you get a chance to eat it, you eat it and binge on it as if there was no tomorrow. I found myself in that situation. I was very lost and I had a lot of limiting beliefs about carbs. I actually used to fear eating, not like fear, but I would abstain or restrain myself from eating potatoes, like pizzas, pasta, anything that had to do with gluten and rice. I thought it's bad for you. I should cut it out. And I felt miserable because we need glucose, we need carbs also to, it's a primary source for our brain to work. So the moment I hired my first coach and they made me aware of that, how flexibly I can eat, then like I achieved food freedom, and that's what I preach for my clients. So if they like eating pasta, I let them have it. I let them have it. If in order for your diet to be sustainable, you need to enjoy it, just like in your business, right? So if you like your pasta, have the pasta. If you like pizzas, I will make a healthy alternative of that pizza for you. So there is literally no limits. If you like keto diet, if you don't like eating carbs, because there is benefits of keto diets as well, like clarity of mind, and it's very good to literally get you super at it. Then go for it. Honestly, like I am here to coach you, to guide you, but you are your best guide, actually. So that's how I can make sure that you reach your goals whilst uh, enjoying yourself along the way. Yeah.
Okay. I like that you mentioned the eating carbs thing because personally I follow a ketogenic lifestyle. I really don't want to call it a diet because oh, diet it
Trigger
has the
word.
connotation that uh you're limiting yourself, it's a temporary
Mhm.
thing, stuff like that. Is I made a
Mhm.
video about this about cheat meals and people think, okay, I'm going to deny myself all this stuff and then once every week or every 2 weeks I'll be able to have this cake and this pizza and stuff like that. But I take more of like extreme approach and just do a polarization that on this side is good, the healthy, the nutritious food, and on the other side it's just the unhealthy food, your Coca-Cola, your processed carbs and stuff like that. But I did want to mention that, of course, that even though more extreme and everything, you can have a more flexible diet. You can uh, have carbs as well, as long as you get like the nutritious carbs, like sweet potatoes, brown rice, black beans, different types of beans. Those carbs are good and stuff like that. But then we get on to the other hand. I was walking through Walmart the other day and I went through the pastry aisle, and then I see all these different breads, highly processed. Then you have your, of course, the honey buns and the double squares, the Twinkies, and all this stuff. That stuff is a no-go because not only they have the highly processed in forms of you have wheat and gluten, but you have the terrible thing that I will tell to everyone: do not get anything with high fructose corn syrup because that's just man-made, and then that's an entirely different discussion on its own. So,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I just wanna add one more thing to that. So pay attention to what your body tells you, because if you or if anyone from the audience is following a certain protocol or labeling the foods as good or bad because someone told them that it's this way, it's not authentic, because it doesn't come from you and your body what it needs. So, for example, myself, I love Jen and Berry's ice cream. I love it. The Netflix and chill pretzel and peanut butter. I strongly recommend that. I love it. You know, this is kind of like a soul food. But if I have it for a few days in a row, I know I will feel terrible. I will feel terrible, and like that, to me the most important is how I feel, because how you feel then determines how you react and how your body goes and how your body looks and how you feel about yourself. So if certain foods that the carbs that we label as bad, they more often than not you will feel in yourself that they make you feel crap. They make you feel crap about yourself. They make you feel sluggish, not motivated, bloated, and this is not a form of self-love, you know. So it doesn't mean it's bad. You can have it and enjoy it from time to time, but enjoy it to the point when you feel good about it, you know, that it feels it's a treat, not a form of escapism or some sort of a behavior through which you reduce anxiety. Oh, that's what I would say. So it's not good or bad, but it's more about how you think about it, your mindset around those foods.
yeah, I think we would agree that there are very few things that are just bad in and of themselves. It's the problem is that, at least, and we'll go into this for my next question, that in the American whole lifestyle, the whole American diet, is the lifestyle in itself has is unhealthy. It's just full of the processed carbs, the hamburgers, all the food that not good for you. And seldomly do people eat the nutritious food. So like if you're living a healthy lifestyle and you're eating these nutritious foods, then once in a blue moon, you can have your ice cream or treat yourself. Just make sure that you take the precautions that, of course, this tastes good, this is a treat, but this isn't something that I'm going to have all the time. This doesn't fit
Yeah,
into my lifestyle.
that's
Okay.
why the identity comes here. You need to have an identity of being a healthy person, because if you have that identity, it's easy for you to know that yes, I have a treat, but this is not who I am. I'm not a person who eats ice cream every night. I'm a person who is a healthy human being. I eat nutritious foods every single day, but once in a while, I allow myself to treat myself with foods that I love. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Now I want to get to the last question, and this is more of a bigger question. This is because you say you're from Poland. I want to get your thoughts versus like society in Poland versus the whole American views, because I noticed from living in America and stuff like that, we hold up these virtues, these values of like whenever we see like the famous people or stuff like that, we hold up health and you being fit. If you're a man, having your six pack abs. When you're if you're a female, having low body fat, hourglass figure, stuff like that. Also, even in the financial space, like being wealthy, working hard, getting into that top, the wealthy arena. But we value these things, but we don't discuss it in terms of like how to get there. Like we value the health and the aesthetic body and stuff like that, but we're saturating the market with unhealthy foods and stuff that is not conducive to reaching that point. The same thing with the education system. It's outdated in terms of getting individuals to the point of financial independence and stuff like that. So could you give me your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And the thought that came to my mind is actually, I no longer know if this is some sort of conspiracy or not, but I literally think, I'm noticing, I'm just observing, it's not to be judgmental, but I can see how sugar is numbing people. They are not able to be themselves, and I saw it on myself. The opportunity that I have to go into this bikini competition when I had to go through very restrictive diet, and I signed up for it myself, so I came with the mindset that I know that my goals are more important than having a pleasure to have an ice cream every night, or every now and then. And I had to restrict myself from carbohydrates and not eating, not drinking any milk, and not having much gluten to no gluten. And I could see I calmed down. My nervous system I had anxiety before, but now I'm able to go with a clear mind and with ease approach changing situations with composure and ease that I wasn't able to do before. And now when I'm looking at the society and at the shops and the education, it's kind of like we are conditioned to be to be in this structure, but I wouldn't say it's for our bad. I think it's like society just lost touch with from their freedom to decide who they want to be because of that beliefs we've been conditioned to perceive as true. Does that make sense?
Yes, in a way. So basically, you're saying
Mm-hmm.
that there's no nefarious influence behind it. It's more like people just got into a rhythm and they lost in touch with their good qualities, their good values.
And the freedom, just freedom of what they perceive as individuals, as happiness, and as success, you know? Because success doesn't mean that you're wealthy. Success doesn't mean that you are a doctor. It's what we've been conditioned to believe that this is perceived success. To me, success is being happy with what you feel, what you do, fulfilled, healthy, and peace. The peace is the biggest, freedom is the biggest component of success. The freedom, financial freedom comes with that, but also the freedom of expression and the freedom to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. And that doesn't mean that you need to be an entrepreneur to do that. For you, it could be the 9 to 5 job. It could be that you are a content creator for someone and you love it, you enjoy it, and it suits you. And that's the greatest manifestation of success, you know? So I think this is what it should be talked about more, so it doesn't go into extremes to being a millionaire to being an average person that actually can be the most successful person if they understand that they are enough in what they are doing as long as they're happy.
Okay, thank you for that. Now,
Mhm.
before we leave off on this interview, now, could you give us just one piece of advice you would give someone who is navigating this current environment, like as we're rounding out the 2022 and all the things that are going on in the world? What advice would you give them in terms of working on themselves so they can survive in this turbulent environment?
Mm, create certainty for yourself. If your environment is turbulent and if you try to find happiness outside of yourself, and then you will not find it. But what I would advise, how to create certainty in your life, something that you can take responsibility of. Take responsibility of what you can do to create that certainty in your life. And that could be through creating a morning routine, something that you know that you're gonna do for sure on a daily basis. Or if morning routine and evening routine is not your thing, that's fine. Do something every day or set yourself targets. Today I'm going to work 2 hours on my business. Today I'm going to read book for 30 minutes and make it beautiful environment. If you feel resistant to reading, create, like, put a candle on, or make yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, or listen to the podcast. Sometimes just listening to the podcast whilst walking outside, here you go, you're not only going out in the nature, but you're also educating yourself. So if you're a busy person, that's the go-to. Yeah, so that will be my advice, and this way you create certainty in your life, because you know that you will do these things no matter what. These are your non-negotiables, and you feel free to do them because it's your rules, you establish them. So yeah, that would be the advice I have. What
Okay.
about you?
My advice that I give to you, pretty similar. I would say, of course, I agree that you're not going to find happiness outside of yourself. You need to work on yourself first. So I did some book reviews in the past, but take some time to just lock yourself in a room with a book, or just take some time to meditate and like get to know yourself and meditate on things like what you want out of life. Because first you need goals, you need a purpose, you need to understand what you want to accomplish, and then after you have that, then you can find out how you're going to accomplish that. And you find that out through coaches, YouTube videos, books, stuff like that. And then after you get that information, so now you know what you want to accomplish, you know how to accomplish it. Now you just need to put in the work and do the work. So you need a firm. Right now, a lot of people grow up, and I've noticed that even in my own life, before I was able to create a strong foundation, a lot of people are taught these traditional values that weren't necessarily true on like how to be successful or how to navigate society. And then when they get into the real world, then their hopes and their expectations are shattered. And you need to build that strong foundation if you're going to survive in anything. So that's what I'm trying to get to the point of: build a strong foundation. This is the time to dig those roots in deep. So that's the advice that I would give.
Yeah, awesome. Don't build a castle on the sand.
Yeah. Now, for our audience, I will have links to her avatar guide in the description, as well as her course, and link to her YouTube channel for everyone.
Thank
Do you
you.
have any last comments for our audience before we go?
Well, I'm just grateful to be here, and remember that you can be your biggest potential. Just like Elvin said, go in a room, go within, discover your purpose, and know that it's for you. What you desire desires you too. That's it.
All right. Thank you.